First up, Rise of the Tomb Raider, released back in 2015. Now, you might think, wait, 2015 isn't that old. But in gaming years, it's practically ancient. And yet, it still feels fresher than half the AAA titles dropping today. This game took everything we loved about the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot and cranked it to 11. Lara Croft's journey through Siberia is a masterclass in blending exploration, storytelling, and action. The environments? Stunning. From icy caves to lush forests, every location feels alive and begs you to explore. And those puzzles, they're challenging but fair, rewarding your brain without needing a walkthrough every 5 minutes. Unlike some modern games that handhold you to death, combat is tight, with Lara's bow and arrow feeling satisfyingly weighty, and the stealth mechanics are top-notch. But what really sets Rise of the Tomb Raider apart is its pacing. It knows when to throw you into heart-pounding action and when to let you breathe and soak in the atmosphere. Modern AAA games often struggle with this balance, either bombarding you with cutscenes or stretching gameplay with repetitive fetch quests. Not here. Every moment feels purposeful. And let's talk polish. Rise of the Tomb Raider launched with minimal bugs, a rarity today when day one patches are the norm. It's a complete package with DLC that actually adds value, like the Baba Yaga expansion. So yeah, modern AAA devs, take notes. This is how you make a game that respects players' time and money. Next, we've got Batman: Arkham Knight, also from 2015. Rocksteady's final chapter in the Arkham trilogy is a love letter to Batman fans, and a reminder that storytelling in games can be cinematic and interactive. Let's start with Gotham. This city is alive, dripping with atmosphere, from the neon-lit streets to the rain-soaked rooftops. It's the kind of open-world modern games dream of, but rarely deliver. The combat. Oh, it's perfection. The free-flow system is buttery smooth, letting you chain combos, counters, and gadgets with ease. It's empowering, making you feel like the Dark Knight. Compare that to some modern AAA games with clunky mechanics or button-mashing combat. It's night and day. And the story? It's dark, personal, and packed with twists. Scarecrow and the mysterious Arkham Knight keep you on edge, and the voice acting. Mark Hamill as the Joker, anyone, is phenomenal. Now, yes, the Batmobile got some flack for being overused, but let's be real, it's still a blast to drive, and those tank battles? Pure adrenaline. Modern AAA games often pad their runtime with meaningless filler, but Arkham Knight keeps things varied, from stealth predator sections to detective work, and the attention to detail. Easter eggs, side missions tied to villains like Riddler and Two-Face, and a new Game Plus mode that keeps you coming back. Sure, the PC launch was rocky, but Rocksteady fixed it, and today, it's a masterpiece. Now for something a bit polarizing. The Order, 1886, also from 2015. This game gets a bad rap for being short, but hear me out. It's a misunderstood gem that modern AAA games could learn from. Set in a steampunk Victorian London, you play as Sir Galahad, a knight in an ancient order fighting werewolves and rebels. The premise alone is wild, and the execution? Flawless. Visually, The Order, 1886, is jaw-dropping. Even in 2025, its graphics hold up against the best modern titles. The lighting, textures, and character models are so detailed, you'd think it was made yesterday. Modern AAA games often prioritize scale over quality, but The Order proves that a focused, linear experience can be breathtaking. The gameplay is where it shines, too. The weapons, like the arc gun and thermite rifle, are creative and satisfying to use, blending historical and sci-fi vibes perfectly. Combat feels weighty, with cover mechanics that actually work, unlike some modern shooters that feel floaty or unresponsive. And the story? It's a cinematic roller coaster, with twists, betrayals, and a cliffhanger that still has fans begging for a sequel. Sure, it's short, around 7 to 8 hours, but it's tight, with no filler. Compare that to modern AAA games that pad their runtime with grindy side quests or microtransactions. The Order, 1886, respects your time, delivering a complete, polished experience. It's not perfect, but it's ambitious, and its world building is leagues ahead of many new releases. Next on number 8, Bioshock, released way back in 2007. If there's one game that proves storytelling in gaming can be art, it's this. Welcome to Rapture, an underwater dystopia that's equal parts beautiful and terrifying. The moment you step into this world, you're hooked. The Art Deco design, the eerie silence broken by Splicer's ramblings. It's immersive in a way modern AAA games often struggle to match. Gameplay-wise, Bioshock blends FPS action with RPG elements flawlessly. Plasmids, those genetic powers like shooting fire or electricity, feel fresh even today. Modern shooters often recycle the same old mechanics, but Bioshock dared to innovate. And the choices: harvest or save the Little Sisters. It's not just a mechanic. It impacts the story, something many modern games with choice matters claims fail to deliver. The story itself? A masterpiece. Andrew Ryan's descent into madness. The twist with Atlas. It's iconic. Modern AAA games often prioritize flashy cutscenes over substance. But Bioshock weaves its narrative into every corner of Rapture. And let's talk polish. This game launched in 2007 with minimal bugs, a far cry from today's glitchy AAA launches. Sure, the graphics are dated by 2025 standards, but the atmosphere? Timeless. Bioshock proves you don't need ray tracing to tell a gripping story. It's a reminder that creativity and passion can outshine bloated budgets. So, modern devs, maybe revisit Rapture and remember, a game's soul matters more than its shine. Now, let's rewind even further to number 7, Red Faction, released in 2001. This game might be ancient by today's standards, but it did something modern AAA titles still struggle with. Meaningful, destructible environments. You play as Parker, a miner on Mars fighting against a corrupt corporation. Sounds simple, right? But it's the Geomod engine that steals the show. Back in 2001, Red Faction let you blow holes in walls, collapse tunnels, and carve your own paths. It wasn't just a gimmick. It changed how you approach combat and exploration. Fast forward to 2025, and most AAA games still treat environments like static backdrops. Sure, we get prettier explosions, but where's the interactivity? Red Faction proved that destructible environments can be a core mechanic, not just eye candy. The story is a classic underdog tale, with a gritty, grounded vibe that modern games often lose in favor of over-the-top spectacle. And the multiplayer? Ahead of its time, with chaotic fun that modern shooters could learn from. Sure, the graphics are blocky, and the AI is a bit dated, but the ideas? Revolutionary. Red Faction wasn't afraid to take risks, something modern AAA games, with their focus-tested formulas, often avoid. It's a reminder that innovation doesn't need a $200 million budget, just vision. So, next time you're playing a modern shooter with indestructible cardboard walls, remember Red Faction. It's proof that even in 2001, games could push boundaries in ways we're still catching up to. Alright, for number 6, we've got Quantum Break, released in 2016. This game is a bit of an oddball, blending third-person shooting with time-bending powers, and even live-action TV episodes. It's ambitious, and while it's not perfect, it's got lessons modern AAA games could use. You play as Jack Joyce, caught in a time experiment gone wrong. The result? A world where time stutters, and you've got powers to manipulate it. The gameplay is where Quantum Break shines. Time powers like freezing enemies or dashing through time bubbles feel unique and satisfying. Modern AAA games often play it safe with generic mechanics, but Quantum Break dares to be different. Combat is fast-paced, with a cover system that actually works, and the powers add a layer of strategy. It's not just point and shoot, it's think and shoot. The story is another highlight, blending sci-fi with conspiracy thriller vibes. The live-action episodes between levels? A bold choice. Sure, they're a bit cheesy, but they expand the world in a way modern games rarely attempt. Compare that to today's AAA titles, which often rely on endless cutscenes or lore dumps. Quantum Break tried something new, and even if it didn't always land, it's refreshing. Visually, it's stunning, with particle effects and time distortions that still impress in 2025. And the choices you make, they actually impact the story, unlike some modern games that promise branching paths, but deliver linear railroads. Quantum Break isn't flawless. The pacing can drag, and the TV episodes aren't for everyone. But it's a reminder that games can be bold, creative, and memorable. Modern AAA devs, take note. Ambition can pay off. Continue with number 5. Dishonored, released in 2012. This game is a stealth masterpiece that modern AAA titles could learn a thing or two from. You play as Corvo Atano, a betrayed bodyguard turned supernatural assassin, out for revenge in the gritty, plague-ridden city of Dunwall. The steampunk meets dark fantasy vibe? Chef's kiss. What sets Dishonored apart is its freedom. Want to ghost through levels without killing anyone? Go for it. Prefer to go full chaos, leaving bodies in your wake? That's cool too. The game doesn't just let you choose, it reacts to your choices. High chaos changes the story, the city, even the ending. Modern AAA games often promise player agency, but deliver linear paths. Dishonored actually delivers. The powers are another highlight. Blink, time stop, rat swarms. They're creative, satisfying, and open up endless possibilities. Compare that to modern games with recycled mechanics or shallow skill trees. And the level design? Genius. Every mission is a sandbox, with multiple paths, shortcuts, and secrets. Modern open-world games often feel bloated, but Dishonored proves that focused, handcrafted levels can be more immersive. Visually, it's still stunning, with an art style that ages like fine wine. And the story? It's tight, with memorable characters like the Outsider, and a world that feels alive. Dishonored launched with minimal bugs, a rarity today when AAA games ship half-baked. It's a reminder that games can be creative, polished, and respectful of players' time. Now, let's step into number 4, AAA Noire, released in 2011. This game is a bold experiment that modern AAA titles could learn from. You play as Cole Phelps, a detective in 1940s Los Angeles, solving crimes in a world dripping with noir vibes. The jazz, the fedoras, the smoky offices. It's like stepping into a classic film. What makes LA Noire stand out is its focus on investigation. You're not just shooting bad guys, you're analyzing crime scenes, finding clues, and interrogating suspects. The facial animation tech, motion scan, was groundbreaking in 2011, letting you read suspects' expressions for lies. Modern AAA games often prioritize action over depth, but LA Noire proves that detective work can be thrilling. The story is another highlight, with cases that feel personal and interconnected. From arson to homicide, each case builds Cole's character and reveals the dark underbelly of LA. Modern games often struggle with pacing, but LA Noire keeps you hooked, even if the driving sections can feel a bit slow. And the voice acting? Top-notch, with performances that still hold up in 2025. Sure, it's not perfect. The open world feels underused, and the action sequences are a bit clunky, but it's ambitious. LA Noire dared to be different, blending gameplay and storytelling in a way modern games rarely attempt. It's a reminder that games can take risks, tell mature stories, and trust players to think. So modern devs, maybe revisit LA and remember, innovation doesn't need explosions, it needs heart. Alright, for number 3, we've got Shadow of Mordor, released in 2014. This game took the Lord of the Rings universe and gave us something modern AAA titles still struggle to match: the Nemesis system. You play as Talion, a ranger bound to a wraith, out for revenge against Sauron's forces. The story is solid, but the real star is the orcs. The Nemesis system is pure genius. Every orc captain has a name, personality, strengths, and weaknesses. They remember you, hold grudges, and even come back stronger if you fail to kill them. It's dynamic, unpredictable, and makes every encounter feel personal. Modern AAA games often fill their worlds with generic enemies, but Shadow of Mordor proves that AI can be memorable. Gameplay-wise, it's a blast. The combat borrows from Arkham, but adds wraith powers like teleportation and mind control. It's smooth, satisfying, and lets you approach fights creatively. Stealth, archery, brute force, take your pick. Modern open-world games often feel repetitive, but Shadow of Mordor keeps things fresh with a Nemesis system and varied missions. Visually, it still holds up, with detailed environments and brutal executions that make you feel like a one-man army. And the polish? It launched in 2014 with minimal bugs, a far cry from today's AAA launches. Sure, the story can feel a bit generic at times, but the gameplay and systems more than make up for it. Shadow of Mordor is a reminder that games can innovate, surprise, and respect players' time. Now on number 2, Halo Reach, released in 2010. Bungie's final Halo game before passing the torch is a masterpiece that modern AAA shooters could learn from. You play as Noble 6, part of Noble Team, defending the planet Reach from the Covenant. It's a prequel to the original Halo, but it stands tall as one of the series' best. Let's start with the campaign. It's epic, emotional, and perfectly paced. From the quiet moments of loss to the massive battles, Reach nails storytelling in a way modern shooters often fumble. The characters like Carter, Kat, and Jorge feel real, and their sacrifices hit hard. Modern AAA games often prioritize spectacle over substance, but Reach proves you can have both. Gameplay-wise, it's perfection. The gunplay feels tight, with weapons like the DMR, and neither still iconic. Armor abilities, like Sprint, Jetpack, and Armor Lock, add variety without breaking balance. Compare that to modern shooters with bloated mechanics or microtransaction-filled loadouts. And the multiplayer? Legendary. Forge, custom games, and ranked playlists kept players hooked for years. Modern live service games could learn from this level of community support. Visually, it's still gorgeous, especially in the Master Chief Collection. The soundtrack? Goosebumps. Martin O'Donnell's score is timeless, elevating every moment. And the polish? It launched in 2010 with minimal bugs, a rarity today. Halo Reach is a reminder that games can be epic, emotional, and complete. No day one patches needed. And now, the number 1 spot, Crysis, released in 2007. This game didn't just push PCs to their limits. It redefined what shooters could be. You play as Nomad, a soldier in a nanosuit, dropped into a jungle to fight North Korean forces and, later, alien invaders. It's a sci-fi epic that modern AAA games could learn from. Let's start with the nanosuit. Maximum strength, speed, armor, and cloaking. It's not just a gimmick, it's a game changer. You can punch tanks, sprint through jungles, or go invisible for stealth kills. Modern shooters often feel linear, but Crysis gives you freedom. Want to snipe from a cliff? Cool. Prefer to blow up a base with C4? Go for it. This sandbox approach is something modern AAA games, with their scripted set pieces, often forget. The graphics? Mind-blowing for 2007. Even in 2025, the remaster looks incredible, with destructible environments and dynamic lighting that still impress. And the physics? You can blow up shacks, snap trees, and watch debris fly. Modern games often prioritize visuals over interactivity, but Crysis proves you can have both. The story is a slow burn, with a twist that shifts the game from military shooter to alien invasion. It's not perfect, but it's ambitious, with memorable moments like the zero-gravity alien ship. And the polish? It launched in 2007 with minimal bugs, a far cry from today's AAA launches. Crysis is a reminder that games can push boundaries, innovate, and respect players' time. There you have it, folks. The full list of 11 old games that put modern AAA releases to shame. These classics didn't need battle passes, microtransactions, or day one patches to be great. They just were. From Rise of the Tomb Raider to Crysis, these games remind us that the past is full of treasures modern devs could learn from. They took risks, respected players' time, and delivered complete experiences. So what do you think? Do these classics still hold up, or are modern AAA titles getting a bad rap? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more gaming content. This series has been a blast, but we're not done yet. Stay tuned for more deep dives into gaming's past, present, and future. Until next time, keep gaming, and remember, sometimes the best adventures are the ones we've already had. See you soon, and remember, we are Gamespedia EX, your AI favorite video game source. I'll be back.